Frankie's been doing enough complaining in front of the microphone and behind the scenes about being called the Kings Cowboy that it finally worked. He finally swayed JJ.
I don't know. At what point do I need to start leaning into it? Because now people are saying it at games. I'm getting messages on social media. I think I need to start.
Into it.
Not the Kid Rock aspect, but the nickname itself.
Frankie,
the nickname itself is fine.
It was my first time calling you that, so you just got to let me be.
Simone, that kind of caught me by surprise. That kind of caught me off guard. I thought you were on the other side. I thought you were with me on that one, but
No.
it's okay. It's okay.
It's a good week.
I'd spend a lot of time here talking about how Frankie continues to just dodge us and not be in studio. But today we got him on the phone. So, hey, that's something. He was in studio with Jason Ross and the other guy today.
Right?
Yeah, we'll take what we
Hold
can
on. Hold on. The day we pick is Thursday, and there's some scheduling conflicts. Like I had to go to
Scheduling conflicts. Yes.
I had to help the guys film their videos with Kevin Herter and Keegan Murray and those guys. And I was told I had to take Thursday off because of hours. But this week, I am available. It's playoff
There
week.
we go.
We got the OT approved.
This is not true, though,
week.
because
we got to make these things happen.
see, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole here, but what I was told was that you might not be available on Thursday because other things might be happening.
No, I said let me see what time the media day. I think they're doing media availability. It usually is before 1:00, and I should be fine. I'll let you guys. But if I'm not, I'll do it later. Then we can make it work.
I just said. Anyway.
I can't make everybody happy all the time. I try.
Right. No. See, what you do is you make when Deuce and Mo were here, you never missed a show. You were on there all the time. It should have been Deuce, Mo, and Frankie C. The Deuce, Mo, and Frankie C show. And then you were on the morning show today.
I wonder why, because I get grilled by you every time I come on.
Now we got to the truth.
I love you, Frankie.
Can't handle it.
I love you
There you
too.
go. There you go.
Simone, will you stop?
Maybe be nice. Maybe be nice. And I'll come on.
I'm always nice.
Yeah.
Frankie, what was your first reaction to the Warriors being the matchup?
I think it was something you kind of knew coming into yesterday that was probably going to be the case. And for a minute, I felt a jolt of excitement when you saw the Suns were winning. And I thought, okay, looks like the Kings and Pelicans are going to be the series. And then the Pelicans fell behind. Okay, Kings Clippers. Those might have been more preferable matchups on paper, but the story of Kings Warriors is what reigns supreme here, and I'm excited. I think when the game ended, I had to let it soak in for a minute. I was a little nervous. I mean, you got some nerves because the Kings are playing not just a team that's a tough playoff selection here, the tough playoff throw-in. You're playing a team that's had one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history. So tough pull, but it's exciting. The fans want it. I was even kind of digging through Dangerous Place Reddit, but I was digging through some Warriors stuff on Warriors Reddit last night, and a lot of people are saying that they don't want to underestimate the Kings. So there's a mutual respect, and I'm expecting some fireworks and Northern California putting on the NBA map.
I've never left Reddit feeling better about anything in the world than I did when I went there. So I just stay away, Frankie. What did you think about the approach of playing and not playing guys the way that Mike Brown did over the weekend in the two games they had Friday and Sunday?
I'm not sure if it's strategic. We haven't really had a chance to talk to Mike too much. I mean, hopefully tomorrow we'll get a chance to practice. We're still waiting to find out what the scheduling is with that. But the way that they held back their main guys against Golden State, is it strategic? I'd like to think there's a possibility that if there is, because the Kings have played the Warriors 3 times this year, but it was 5 months ago. I mean, they just don't really have much on this Kings team now. I mean, the Kings team they played back in November is not the Kings team that they're standing in front of them on Saturday. The Kings are a much different team. They were still figuring out their offensive schemes. There wasn't the chemistry you see like between Domantas Sabonis and Kevin Herter, or the dribble handoff. None of that stuff was prevalent like it is today. And the Warriors, not to say that diminishes what they've done either, but I think that the Kings, Mike Brown, they want some things up their sleeves, and it wouldn't surprise me if they held the guys out on Friday for that reason. And yesterday, just a general sense to me of getting some cardio and getting some reps in, keeping the legs fresh. They have a week between games. So that's what it looked like to me. I know that maybe there could be some other things behind the scenes why that happened, but not wanting to show your hands against a team you're going to be playing in a 7-game series, that seems like it makes the most sense.
Frankie C is with us here on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Frankie, we tend to always talk about Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green because of the obvious reasons, right? But I'm looking at this series, and the one dude that's popping out to me a lot is Andrew Wiggins. And do you think Wiggins could have as big of an impact in this series as I think he could if he's healthy and ready to roll?
Yeah, I mean, he had a pretty big impact against the Kings in November. I think he went off in the fourth quarter in that second game. Him and Steph Curry both had a good fourth quarter in that game where the Kings lost on the Kevin Huerter, the phantom foul, or phantom no call, I guess. But I think two players I'm keeping an eye on. Andrew Wiggins, obviously, what he brings. What is he going to bring is the question. But Jordan Poole, somebody who's been so impactful for the Warriors for the past couple of seasons and someone who is a high-volume scorer, he's really struggled against the Kings this season. He even struggled the other night against the Kings BC team. I think he was 0 of 9, 0 of 10 from the field. What is he going to bring to the table? Those are the two players I'm looking at because you know what you're going to get from Steph. You know what you're going to get from Klay. Draymond Green is someone who's probably going to go out there and be like an 8-8-8 guy. He's not really going to go get you 20 points unless it's a really bad night on defense. But those other guys are the X factors for the Warriors. Can Jordan Poole be a 20-point scorer? He hasn't been that against the Kings this year. Can Andrew Wiggins come back and prove he can be impactful after missing a month and a half, 2 months? I mean, those are the questions that the Warriors are going to have to answer, and the ones that people they're concerned about. Again, when digging through the Warriors Reddit, those are the questions they have. The same thing. Those fans, they're not sure what they're going to get from Andrew Wiggins. He's been inactive for a long time. But those are definitely the two guys I'm keeping an eye on, Wiggins and Poole.
And there are plenty of unknowns in this. You just laid out a bunch of the unknowns for the Warriors. The Kings unknown is a lot of inexperience when it comes to the playoffs and the postseason. But of what we do know, Frankie, about these two teams, give me the one thing that makes you feel the best about this series and the one thing that makes you most worried about this series.
What makes me, I guess I'll start with most worried. Most worried, I would say the ability to stop Steph Curry because the Kings just have not been able to do that. Steph Curry, he's averaged 35 points per game against the Kings this year. That's the most against any opponent. He's played more than twice. He really just has an out for the Kings, I guess, but they've struggled to defend him. And even when Steph is being passive, Klay Thompson is somebody who got going. Again, it was against the Kings, second, third sort of stringers the other night, but those two guys they're deadly, and they're both locked in like it's 2015 right now. I mean, Klay Thompson, 300 made threes this year. He looks like he's recovered from that knee injury. He's playing good basketball right now. So I'm concerned about slowing those guys down. If you can slow one of them down, I think you have a great chance of winning a game. Something I feel good about. I feel good about the fact that, and I talked about Chris Watkins a couple of days ago, that I never worry about the Kings getting a bucket when they really need a bucket. Like I know this offense is so potent, it's so strong, reliable. They have so many different ways to hurt you, whether it be in the paint, whether it be on the perimeter. They can go and get you some points if you need someone to score. And I don't really worry about that as much as I worry about the defense. And the defense, which has been under a microscope for the better part of this season, is going to be under a microscope even more so in the playoffs. And the one thing I'll say I feel more confident in is the fact that we've seen the Kings lock in late in games, and they played the Warriors well. I mean, again, it's been 5 months, but those same guys are still there. Maybe you could try to hold that to your advantage, but they played well against the Warriors. There was a 1-point differential in those first 3 games. Obviously, the other night, no one playing. That kind of skewers things a little bit, but I feel confident in the Kings' offense, and that's what makes me think the Kings are able to win this series.
Thanks, Frankie. Hopefully, we can catch up with you on Thursday, my man. Appreciate it.
I'll be in, guys. I'll be in. I appreciate you.
We'll see.
Thanks, Frankie.
Thanks, Frankie. Frankie C. Frankie Cartoscelli from SactownSports.com. Always great with the Kings info, intel, thought process.
And he will be here Thursday. Yeah. We'll see.
I think he went a little strong there. He'll probably regret that by Wednesday.
Okay. We hold him to it, though.
Good. We've held them to things before. It hasn't really made a difference. So we'll see. But Simone loves him, so everything is fine. As long as Simone loves him, we're doing okay.
I like Frank. I don't know about love.
More Kings thoughts, and also we're going to have some overreactions on a Monday. That's next.
Cattes Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
The regular season is over. Now the real test begins.
Kings will have the